Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and I come from a small village in an Asian country. Life in my hometown was simple, surrounded by rice fields, narrow dirt roads, and a close-knit community where everyone knew each other. Growing up, I had big dreams of venturing beyond the horizons of my tiny village. America was a place I often heard about from neighbors who had relatives abroad. They spoke of towering skyscrapers, bustling cities, and endless opportunities. Little did I know that one day, I would find myself navigating the streets of America as a taxi driver. Back home, my English skills were almost non-existent. We learned a few words in school, but the only phrases I truly mastered were, hello, and thank you. Communication was always in my native language, and I rarely needed to use English. But as I grew older, the desire to explore the world became stronger. My cousin, who had been working in New York for years, convinced me to take a chance. He told me stories of immigrants who started with nothing but ended up building successful lives. His words planted a seed of hope in my heart, and after months of saving and planning, I finally applied for a visa. The day I landed in America, everything felt surreal. The air was crisp, the people moved with purpose, and the buildings seemed to touch the sky. I stayed with my cousin initially, who lived in a modest apartment in Queens, New York. He worked long hours as a chef in a local restaurant and didn't have much time to show me around. Still, he guided me on how to settle in and encouraged me to look for work. Finding a job without fluency in English was a challenge. Most jobs required basic communication skills, which I lacked. But I didn't give up. After several weeks of searching and numerous rejections, I stumbled upon an ad for a taxi driver position. The requirements were simple: a valid driver's license and a willingness to work hard. Driving was something I was confident in, having navigated the chaotic roads of my hometown for years. However, the idea of interacting with passengers in English terrified me. My cousin helped me get a driver's license and showed me how to use a GPS device. On my first day as a taxi driver, I was a bundle of nerves. The dispatcher gave me my first customer, a man in a suit who needed to get to the airport. I greeted him with a nervous, hello, and fumbled through the rest of the interaction. He gave me directions, but I couldn't understand half of what he said. Thankfully, the GPS guided me, and I managed to get him to his destination. He left without a word, and I wondered if I'd made a mistake choosing this job. Over the next few weeks, I encountered passengers from all walks of life. Some were patient and understanding when I struggled with English, while others grew frustrated. Each day was a learning experience. I kept a small notebook in my taxi, where I jotted down new words and phrases I overheard. At night, I practiced them with my cousin or searched for their meanings online. Slowly but surely, my confidence began to grow. One day, a kind elderly woman got into my taxi. She spoke slowly and clearly, noticing my struggle with English. "You're doing well," she said with a warm smile. "Just keep practicing." Her encouragement stayed with me, and I made it a point to engage more with my passengers, even if it was just small talk. Months turned into years, and I began to see improvements. My once limited vocabulary expanded, and I could hold basic conversations. I also started taking English classes at a community center on my days off. The classes were filled with people like me, immigrants from different countries, all striving to learn and adapt. The teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, was patient and supportive, often giving me extra practice materials to work on. As my English improved, so did my earnings. I became more comfortable navigating the city and interacting with passengers. I learned to listen carefully and ask questions when I didn't understand something. Regular customers started requesting my service, appreciating my reliability and growing confidence. One of them, Mr. Thompson, owned a logistics company. He often talked about his work during our rides and was impressed by my determination to learn. One day, he offered me a job at his company. "You're hardworking and eager to improve," he said. "I need someone like you in my team." The offer felt like a dream come true. but I hesitated. Leaving my taxi job meant stepping into an unfamiliar environment, one that required more advanced English skills. However, Mr. Thompson assured me that I would receive training and support. Taking the job was a turning point in my life. The initial days were challenging, filled with new responsibilities and technical jargon I struggled to understand. But I was determined to succeed. My colleagues were helpful, often explaining things patiently and correcting my mistakes. I continued attending English classes and practiced speaking whenever I could. Gradually, I became more proficient and my confidence soared. With a stable job and a decent salary, I was able to bring my wife, Mira, to America. We had married just before I left for the U.S., and being apart had been tough for both of us. Reuniting with her felt like a missing piece of my life had been restored. Together, we built a cozy home in a quiet neighborhood. A year later, we welcomed our daughter, Sarah, into the world. She became the center of our universe, her laughter filling our home with joy. Looking back, my journey from a nervous taxi driver to a successful employee at a logistics company feels surreal. The struggles and challenges I faced taught me resilience and the value of hard work. Today, I am proud of how far I've come. My English is far from perfect, but it no longer holds me back. I can communicate effectively, build relationships, and provide a better life for my family. America has given me opportunities I never imagined possible. It hasn't been an easy journey, but every step has been worth it. Now, as I sit in my living room watching Sarah play with her toys, I feel a deep sense of gratitude. My small family in this vast country is my greatest achievement, and I look forward to building an even brighter future together.